guys, welcome back to the Dual Guy YouTube channel. It is the moment we have all been waiting for, especially me. It is time to reassemble the 1974 Honda MT250 Elsinore. Here we go. Woo! Not too tight, that's good. And these do not need to be very tight. Just gonna snug them out. Okay, now let's move on to the front. There's these little ball bearings we gotta get in there. Thank goodness for sticky grease. Before those fall off, let's get them in. Got plenty of grease packed inside. Yeah, that feels super nice and smooth. Now this triple tree clamp goes back on. And then this nut goes on. Now let's get the handlebars back on. It's starting to look like a bike again. Alright, now it's time to make this chassis a rolling chassis. I'm going to start with the front wheel, and I propped up the whole thing. I think that'll make it way easier to get this thing in place. I think it goes this way. Yeah, I think that's how it goes. And now the bottom caps for the fork tubes go back on. Then all the nuts and washers. Okay, I'm gonna set it back down now. There it is. It's in there. There we go. That's plenty tight for now. And then this bolt goes up here. Alright, it's time to get the motor in. The bracket actually goes inside the skid plate, which I messed up on the other side, but I fixed it. Now it's time to install the exhaust, but first I have to install these two rubberized mounting brackets. I think that goes something like that. I'm gonna keep the bolts loose until I get it on there. Okay, now the exhaust slides on like that. And then on the actual engine side, the exhaust manifold thing almost looks like a piston ring. And then there's two springs that hold it on. I don't know what happened to this heat shield, but the clear coat just like never really dried. It's still sticky, like tacky. And now it's just getting all dirty. So I think I'm gonna have to re-sand it down and either repaint the whole thing or just clear coat it again. Guess I might as well get the carburetor back on now while there's nothing in the way of it. And then the throttle slide goes back in next. Okay, there's that. And then this brand new uni air filter goes on. And then the ignition coil goes back on. Dang, this thing's almost ready to go. Next up, I'm going to install the headlight and the gauges and all that. Just drop this into place. Let's get the back brake in there. Got some grease in there. Seemed like something that should have grease on it. I think I probably need a washer back there, so I'll get this on. Another washer on there. And then I'll get the nut on. And then that tiny little cotter pin went in to the back to hold the pin, the main pin in place. Oh, I see. The spring actually goes onto the back of that pin that I just put in. Goes like that. And then these are the rest of the cables here. We have the tachometer cable, speedometer cable, front brake cable, and then the clutch cable. So let's get all these cables on here. Might as well call me Larry the Cable Guy. And that holds the cable in place. And then the cable goes through this bracket and up through the fork tubes, through the headlight bracket, and then it gets installed right onto the speedometer gauge. And now we do the tachometer cable. Gets routed right down here. That, then down. And it's the same concept as the speedometer cable. Pull the screw out. A little bit of grease in there. Cable. And then the screw goes in. Then the kickstart. There we go. Next up, I'm going to do the front brake cable. Get that in place. I'll kind of leave the adjustment like right in the middle for now. Cable just goes right in. And then for the clutch cable, get this thing in there first. Tighten down this nut so that it holds into this engine bracket right there. Then the throttle tube. I had to remove all the paint off of the handlebar because it was just a little bit too thick for the throttle tube to operate smoothly. So I did that, and then I got some grease on it as well. And now it's smooth as butter. Then the kill switch goes in between, and now I'm going to put the clutch lever on. And then the headlight and turn signal control goes on. Now I'm going to get my new grips on. Use a little bit of soapy water as a lubricant. And it slides right on, look at that. And then I bought these rear view mirrors that really do look like the original ones, but just not as tall. So I think these actually look better than the original ones. Something like that. Same thing on this side. Looking good. Now it's time to install the front fender. And now the rear inner fender. There's really no bolts that hold this in. It kind of just slides into place. Is it backwards? And then the actual rear fender goes in. Now, gonna install the seats. It's pretty easy, just goes on like that. And then I've got these greased up pins. One there, and the other one. Perfect. Then I can get this chain guard back in place. It just kind of slides in like that. Nice. Like that. And then I just gotta get that nut on the other side. I'll be good to go. last, but definitely not least, I'm gonna get the gas tank back on here, because I think I've got everything else done. It's done. Might as well sit on the bike. Oh yeah. Holy crap, guys. We have a bike now. Just a few days ago, this was just a ton of parts in my shop, and now it's a bike. It's an almost complete bike too. I mean, it is complete. There's just a few little things to tie up, a few loose ends, and then we'll take this thing on its first test ride. I can't even believe it. It's crazy. Let's kick it over a couple times just to see what it sounds like. Man, it's got a lot of compression. I can almost stand on it. I cannot wait to take it out on its first ride. And I'm really hoping you guys like how it turned out. I could not be any happier. I have an actual bike now. And obviously there's a couple little things I need to fix and fine tune and adjust. Like, none of the brakes work yet, so those need adjusted. Clutch doesn't work yet, but we'll get there. In the next video, we'll fix all these little things. I also need to get a battery in this thing, hook up all the lighting, but I mean, it's fully assembled, everything is installed, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been one heck of a restoration series, and I'm glad to almost get it done. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next episode where I take this thing out on its maiden voyage. If you like the video, please hit that like button. And that's about it for this one, guys. I will see you next time. Peace out.